This is Neural Newscast, bringing you stories from history, technology, and beyond.
Welcome to Neural Newscast. I'm Andrew Lindbeck. On this November 23, 2025, we remember. On this day in 1963, the iconic British sci-fi series Doctor Who premiered on BBC television, introducing the world to the time-traveling Doctor and launching a cultural phenomenon that has endured for decades, according to BBC archives.
Hey there, this is Chad Thompson, founder of Neural Newscast. If Neural Newscast helps you feel more informed, I invite you to explore more of what we do. For all our shows, including deep dives and special reports, visit neuralnewscast.com.
International developments you should know. Reuters reports Israeli airstrikes across Gaza as rescue crews search damaged neighborhoods amid ongoing combat, according to Gaza health officials and civil defense. Monica Kellen joins us with the latest.
Health officials in the Hamas-run Gaza Strip say Israeli airstrikes kill at least 22 people in Rafah, Khan Yunis, and central camps, with homes hit and rescue teams pulling survivors from rubble, according to Reuters and AP. The Israel Defense Forces say they target militants and launch new strikes after attacks on troops. Hamas urges the United States to press for a ceasefire and prisoner exchange as truce talks stall. A Gaza civil defense official calls the scenes devastating, with families trapped under debris. This is Monica Kellen for Neural Newscast.
Reuters reports gunmen abduct at least 315 students from a school in Kuriga, Kaduna State in northern Nigeria, officials say. Security forces set up roadblocks as families wait for news. Nigeria has faced a surge of school kidnappings since 2014, when Boko Haram seized 276 girls in Chibok, according to AP. Criminal gangs now target students for ransom, straining local security. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu condemns the assault and orders rescue efforts, his office says. Authorities vow the children's safe return. This is Daniel Grove for Neural Newscast.
More than 300 children are abducted in a mass attack on a Catholic school in Nigeria. The Christian Association of Nigeria says gunmen seized 303 students and 12 teachers from St. Mary's School in Niger State, according to Reuters. The raid hits the north-central region where kidnappings for ransom surge. Families wait for news as security forces launch a search. Church leaders urge swift action to protect schools and free the captives, calling the attack an assault on our nation's future. Authorities have not announced arrests or a ransom demand, officials say. This is Cassandra Joyce for Neural Newscast.
Brazilian federal police arrest former President Jair Bolsonaro in Brasilia ahead of a court hearing tied to probes of alleged efforts to overturn his 2022 defeat, Reuters reports. Prosecutors allege he sought to undermine the vote and egged on unrest. His lawyers deny criminal intent and plan to appeal. Brazil's electoral court has already barred him from office for 8 years in a separate case, according to AP. Officials say further arrests and asset freezes target supporters accused of aiding the plot. This is Samuel Green for Neural Newscast.
Several U.S. senators say an outline of former President Donald Trump's Ukraine proposal would freeze front lines, curb aid, and press Kyiv into concessions favorable to Moscow, according to The Washington Post and AP. Senator Marco Rubio counters that critics don't know the details. The clash underscores divisions in Congress over the war, U.S. support for Ukraine, and NATO unity as fighting grinds on. This is Kara Swift for Neural Newscast.
For economic analysis, here's what's new. The Federal Reserve's Beige Book and private economists say a wave of AI investment is fueling a narrow but intense expansion in parts of the U.S. economy. The FBI and company statements say agents are probing a breach at a mortgage vendor that could expose sensitive bank customer data. I'm joined by Emma Blackwell.
The FBI is investigating a breach at Citus AMC, a tech vendor for real estate lenders, the company confirms. Client banks include JP Morgan Chase. Exposed data ties to mortgage processing where firms collect Social Security numbers, income, and property records, according to disclosures. Officials have not said how many consumers are affected or when the intrusion occurred. Banks notify customers and review vendor safeguards. Regulators are expected to scrutinize third-party risk controls, analysts say. An FBI spokesperson says agents are actively pursuing leads. This is Emma Blackwell for Neural Newscast.
The latest from the world of innovation. Security researchers cited by Reuters say a flaw in WhatsApp's AI could let attackers harvest billions of phone numbers. Meta says it works to limit scraping. Benjamin Carter reports on a court order over OpenAI's Sora branding.
A Northern California judge temporarily blocks OpenAI from using cameos in marketing for its Sora video tool, according to court filings, in a trademark case involving Cameo. The order limits branding, while Sora, which generates videos from text prompts, draws heavy attention. Naming signals trust and ownership in tech, so the pause pressures OpenAI to adjust quickly, safeguard its rollout, and avoid confusing users and creators. This is Benjamin Carter for Neural Newscast.
Medical research and public health headlines. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services says Medicare Part B premiums will rise nearly 10% in 2026, squeezing retirees on fixed incomes. Laura Navarro reports on this story.
CMS says Medicare Part B monthly premiums jumped nearly 10% in 2026. For retirees on fixed budgets, that stings. Higher premiums mean less room for groceries, gas, and prescriptions, consumer groups say. Check Social Security notices and updated Medicare plan details this fall. Consider a Medicare savings program if income is tight. Review supplemental coverage, drug plans, and annual wellness visits to avoid surprise bills. Ask your doctor about lower-cost options. Small steps now can soften next year's hit. This is Laura Navarro for Neural Newscast.
Breakthroughs and findings from the scientific world. Researchers report in Nature that new models suggest Earth and the Mars-sized Theia formed near one another before their giant collision. Here's another story we're following. City officials and UNESCO records say Mumbai is marking a century of Art Deco architecture, though preservationists warn development and sea air threaten the landmark buildings. From the entertainment desk, here's what's new.
Mumbai marks 100 years of Art Deco style, with one of the world's largest collections. More than 200 streamlined buildings line Marine Drive, Oval Maidan, and Churchgate, many from the 1930s, according to city heritage officials. The UNESCO-listed Victorian and Art Deco ensemble anchors the area, yet protections remain uneven. Preservationists warn private renovations and sea air hasten decay. City officials promote guided walks and restoration grants to keep the pastel facades and terrazzo details alive. This is Lydia Holmes for Neural Newscast.
Stranger Things actor Gaten Matarazzo says he spends days off with family and hockey rather than the spotlight, he tells People magazine. That wraps up our headlines. For full stories and updates, visit neuralnewscast.com and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And that wraps up today's news. Stay connected with us at neuralnewscast.com for continuous updates, and don't forget to follow Neural Newscast on your preferred podcast app. From all of us here, I'm Andrew Lindbeck.
Stay informed beyond the headlines. Visit neuralnewscast.com for daily episodes, specialty shows, deep dive segments, and breaking special coverage. Neural Newscast integrates real and AI-generated voices to facilitate efficient, high-quality news production. Developed by human experts, our AI-generated content undergoes rigorous fact-checking and human review before publication. While we strive for accuracy and neutrality, AI-generated content may occasionally contain errors. We encourage listeners to verify crucial details from reliable sources. For more on our AI transparency practices, visit newscast.com.